Hello and welcome to my new low quality video journal experiment. No, it's looking very 2000s in here, but that's okay because like I said, this is an experiment. This is kind of just for fun right now. I'm wanting to do like video diary style videos right now because I watched a couple videos within the last day that have inspired me and kind of reawakened me out of just some bullshit that I was in. So as an experiment, in hopes that it will help me with a couple things. One, with being more, being able to do content when I have something come to mind. There's a lot of things I've been wanting to do, and I've been wanting to get back on YouTube. I've been wanting to do more TikToks, and I am not very active in that, and it is really hard for me to, like, I'll be inspired to do something, but then to get back into that space to want to create something, especially when I'm in a flow, like a thought process, or like something like comes to me and I'll write it down, or I'm really passionate in the moment, but then when I go back to like act it out later or like say the things that I was thinking, it doesn't come out the same, and I'm not really motivated to like really finish out the video. So I'm hoping that these video diaries are going to train me to be able to just like pull out my phone and make that like a habit where I'm like, okay, I got this thought, let me pull up my phone and start recording, and like being able to talk to the camera and just like really get that thought out there, and being able to collect my thoughts, being able to properly translate or communicate the things that I'm saying. Because I've noticed, one, I could expand my vocabulary. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about too, not in this video specifically, but just in general, people don't say the things that they actually mean. And when I say that, I mean we don't have the vocabulary to actually express how we really feel. And it's very, our language is very watered down. And I even find myself to like, whether it's just like emotions, not knowing what I'm able, like want to say, or just not being able to have the confidence to express that in front of people. I've noticed journaling has helped me a lot with that, and I'm hoping that this will too. And another thing that I'm hoping this will help with is being present with my thoughts, and processing them in the moment, because I know I am, and I'm sure a lot of other people are really bad at it, but we'll push things for later and then just not deal with it, not integrate the things that we learned, especially since we're always so much on the go that like we are always pushing things that like are pretty important, and we feel like there's other important things right now that like, oh, we need to go to work, we need to do this, we need to do that, like that doesn't matter right now. And we should start putting ourselves first, our health, our like, I don't know, practices, habits. For me it's spirit right now. Like I've been in this cycle recently of thinking like, oh, when I get to this space, I'll be able to focus on myself more. When I get to whatever, then I'll be able to do these things. And I'm noticing that me keeping on saying that and neglecting my health, my mental health, my relationship with spirit, that it is not good for me, and I feel like I'm not going anywhere. I feel like I'm stuck. So learning to sit with myself more, and yeah, just do the things that I need to do. Like, I am so tired too, and that's like a constant thing for me. Like, I'm always so tired, and I feel like that doesn't give me the motivation to like do the things that I actually want to do. But the video I just watched, it mentioned that what you focus your attention on, you're gonna keep noticing that. And again, I already know this, but obviously I haven't integrated that enough, because that's like, again, a constant thing in my life. I'm tired, and I focus on that. I'm tired, and I stay tired. And it's like, why don't I should know this. I've done it with other things. Why don't you just switch up that thought? Because I've learned a lot of things, but I notice I'm having to relearn some stuff, and that shouldn't be the case. We should be integrating things as they happen. So I'm hoping that this will again be like another a good habit to form. So yeah, like I think this I feel will help hold me accountable. So again, this is a little experiment that I'm trying. We'll see if it works. So yeah, stay tuned and enjoy the process with me. I made it to entry 2. It's actually a thing now. I'm pretty proud of myself for actually sticking with this. And it's pretty much aligning with what I'm going through right now in my life, which I guess is gonna now make this a documentary of the healing journey I'm going through right now. I might have said this already in the last video, but I realized there is a lot of stuff that I need to work through and go deeper, because I didn't go as deep the first round of my healing journey as I thought I did. So yeah, welcome to this life process with me. Today, me and the homie processed some things, and to preface, we have had a bit of tension because of our communication. We both have very different communication styles. We both give and receive information very different, and that was frustrating me because I was not feeling felt. I was not feeling like I was being heard or understood, and I didn't feel, and this could be like a trauma thing too. I mean, like partially it is a trauma thing of me not wanting to talk about these things, but I was like not wanting to bring this up or communicate about it because I didn't feel like there was a point to, because the things that we've talked about before, like I said, like I just didn't feel like he was listening to me. I didn't feel like there was any point in bringing these things up and talking about it, because I felt like we were just gonna go in a loop and it wasn't gonna go anywhere. And so that frustrated me, and he felt the same way in some aspects where like he didn't feel like we're understanding each other. But now he's asking questions, asking how I'm actually feeling, so I decide to just bring it up and go in on it and tell him this, like tell him how I feel. And we're processing through it together, realizing that we both feel the same way. So like, how can we come to an understanding? Like, what is the issue here? And we both realized that the ego wants to be understood. The ego wants the validation from the other person, but we realized, or we came to the conclusion that the ego cannot be fully understood by another person. You know all the aspects, like you know your ego in its entirety, whether it's conscious or subconscious, whatever. Like, you know your ego, that could only be felt by you. Another person cannot feel that. It cannot understand everything that you're feeling, everything that you're going through, everything that you mean, you intend. So to expect someone else to fully understand you, fully validate your experiences, is kind of impossible. And I talked a little bit about this in my last recording. I said that people don't actually say what they mean or say how they actually feel, even though they try and verbalize it, they don't know how to do it the right way. And I realized in that moment that it wasn't that I wanted to be understood, I wanted to be felt, but more so I wanted to be comforted, I wanted to feel held. And that's a little different from like needing to be understood. Like, you don't need to understand. I don't need my feelings or like what I'm feeling broken down to me. I don't even need you to fully understand what I'm saying. I just need you to be here for me and feel nurtured. That was the other part that I just realized now. That is something that is lacking in my life, is that nurturing, that emotional support. And when I was saying that I didn't feel understood or felt, I just realized that I just wanted to, feel held. And I think that's what a lot of people, and we both came to that understanding, and I think that that's what a lot of people actually feel, I guess, like, obviously depending on your situation. But I think if we all come to that understanding that we cannot have our egos fully validated by another person, we can only give that to ourselves. But what we can get from people is that emotional support, that like actual feeling of being held. Like sometimes you actually just need to be fucking held. You need a hug. And I think that that's what I am feeling now, because I lack that. I lack that emotional support, that even like physically emotional comfort, and not being able to verbalize this, especially like I think out of trauma, out of feeling like it's a clingy thing to say, like these stigmas that we have about needing this emotional support, needing this physical emotional support from people, feeling like we're just like scared to ask for it or don't know how, because we've never had that. And after we both realized that, I felt the tension release, and it's really nice to be able to process through those things. Even with people, I have done a lot of things on my own, and I've isolated myself, and I felt like I've needed to do that to work through things and to heal. And while it is good and definitely recommended to do by yourself, it is nice to have people to work through these things with, have a community. And this is something very new for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people can relate. I didn't ever really have people growing up that I could do this with, so it has been a huge learning process and is a big healing process right now, and I'm learning again to process things in the moment. I am just decided I'm going to Mexico, and I'm super excited for that because I need time for myself, need time alone. But I am happy that I am able to still process these things and still work through everything, and not feeling like I have to wait to be at a certain point to feel a certain way, or like be in a certain place, have a certain environment, whatever. That I'm actually able to process these things, because I am now very dedicated to this. Because I just even realized last night as I was laying in bed before I went to sleep, it's not my Saturn return yet, but it is coming up on that time, and I think I'm already feeling that energy where I'm like looking back, and like through these series of events that's happened, like this last week has probably provoked that. But I am now looking back, and like I said, realizing that, I haven't done as much work as I thought I did, or maybe I thought I would be further, and yeah, that's motivating me to put in more work, to be consistent with healing myself, because I would really like to be in a much better spot. And yeah, I'm glad that I at least have that drive to want to better myself, because it does feel good to work through these things and to unblock these blockages. But yep, that's about it for this entry. It's almost like 5 a.m. and I should go to bed. So, peace. Yo, so I'm gonna try and keep this one short because the video is already pretty long. So earlier this week, or maybe it's been last week now, I had a conversation with the homie, and he said that what he's seen in me was that my feminine and masculine were not connected, and something about like my inner child, yeah, I guess just like not being safe, because the feminine masculine's always fighting, and it's like pretty much like a broken household kind of situation. Mother and father is fighting, kid doesn't feel safe, kid's watching this, you know what I mean. So maybe this was like a week ago, because I'm like trying to bring back what he was saying, but I'm gonna paraphrase because it's been a minute. But pretty much like the feminine and masculine, my feminine and masculine has to have communication, my feminine has to trust my masculine, and I've been analyzing this over the last week and like reflecting in how that looks in myself and how it manifests. And I have noticed that and just like with my traumas and everything, that what I see is that I have never had trust in men, which is like embodies the masculine energy. So because of my distrust in men, my fear of men, my prior hatred of men, and me being very masculine myself, I have realized that the feminine in me does not trust the masculine in myself, so that's where that disconnect comes from. And I say I'm very masculine because I mean, I was raised that way. I was raised with a Mexican dad, with brothers, so it was a very masculine, macho kind of household, and I learned to be that way. And also like just growing up in this society, a lot of women are very masculine because we've had to step up and do a lot of shit. Like we have to be hustlers, we have to do all this, like these masculine things to survive. So yeah, women have become very masculine. I have a lot of that masculine energy, and it is very exhausting as being a feminine vessel, and having all that masculinity and not giving way to my femininity, I've realized has been what has exhausted me, and the feminine in me hates that. So there's like this battle between the feminine and the masculine, where the feminine just wants to feel safe and just wants to rest and create, be chill, whatever, and the masculine just always like go, go, go. And I'm learning more, especially now. I'm like always wanting to work or feeling like I need to work, because like there's a lot of things that I'm really passionate about, and I want to work on these things, but I'm always pushing myself past my limits to do the work, and that is very exhausting for the feminine. So I'm learning to give myself more rest, take more breaks. If I'm feeling creative, be creative. Like my homie's downstairs, he's working, and I'm always feeling like I need to be working too. Like if I see other people working, that's just like my instinct is like, oh, I should be working too. And I'm learning to take more time for myself and honoring my body and how I feel. And I wasn't really feeling like getting straight into work. I was feeling more creative. The sun's out today, and I was just wanting to work on myself more. I was wanting, like, I haven't filmed a video in a few days and I was trying to be more on top of this. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna just take some time and do what I want to do and not force myself into being productive all the time. And another thing I've been reflecting on is being the mother or being the nurturer that I didn't really receive growing up. I had mother figures sometimes throughout my life, but it was never consistent. Like my grandma helped raise me when I was like really young, but then my mom was never really there, and I always wanted her to be there. I always wanted that nurturing and never got it. So I'm realizing, or I have realized recently, that that is something that I have been craving and haven't been able to have. And previously I have sought that externally in people, and I'm learning now to just give that to myself and be the mother that I never truly had. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of feminine healing right now, and also like with my masculinity, because we all do have both energies, feminine and masculine, in us. And I am learning to not hate my masculine because I give a lot of my energy towards that masculine side that's always driving me, and I shouldn't blame. I'm trying to like figure out exactly how to say this, but like I don't want to blame the masculine and hate my masculine for doing what the masculine does, and rather just learning to balance it and give more energy to my feminine, especially like now it's winter. I just got done, like I worked on a festival all this year, and what I was really wanting to do this winter was just rest. So I'm being more intentional and reminding myself to ease more into my feminine right now. And then with that, I feel like that'll give me more time to also nurture my inner child, because I am working on coming into my caretaker or nurture mother archetype. But yeah, I guess I actually didn't have too much to say about that. It was kind of it, at least what's coming to my head right now. But yeah, just working more on being in my feminine, but then also letting the energies flow as they need to, not being resistant, not forcing anything. But yeah, I think that was it for this first video entry. It was great to finally finish that. If you guys have any questions or any ideas on topics I should talk about, let me know in the comments. And of course, like, comment, subscribe, all of that. So yeah, I'm out.